Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flight Podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Andrew Thomas.
Shut up and sit down.
The second round of the NBA playoffs have begun, and it's already been crazy. As the Clippers are up 1-0 against the Nuggets, who do you have going to the Western Conference Finals, Jacob?
Well, for that matchup, I obviously got the Clippers. I mean, I would not be surprised if they went out with the sweep. They've just been an amazing team. Kawhi Leonard, as we've both said, has been the best player in the playoffs and continues to be the best player in the playoffs as he showed out in that first game against the Nuggets. I really just don't think that the Nuggets have enough to go past that Clippers team. I mean, even if they could get a game against them, I really don't think that they can do it unless somehow Kawhi just has a terrible game, which, as we've been seeing throughout the playoffs, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. With the other series, the other matchup against the Lakers and the Rockets, I got the Lakers in 6. I still think that LeBron and AD are going to perform well, but at the same time, I do think that James Harden and Russ will perform well. But in the end, I don't think it'll be enough, as the big problem they have with that team is they don't have a big man. Now, as we've seen it in the past in the regular season, yeah, they were able to stop that Lakers team, but I really don't think that they're going to be able to stop AD in a consistent run where they'll be able to win 4 games. Because we've seen the Rockets, we've seen them be not as consistent in winning games. So I got Lakers in 6 and Clippers in 4 in that one. What do you got, Andrew?
Well, it's hard for me to say if the Clippers are going to sweep or if they're going to go to 5 games. So it's definitely going to be 4 or 5. The Nuggets just don't have enough firepower. Like, they went to 7 games with the Jazz, and the Jazz definitely would have gotten swept by the Clippers. So, you know what, I'm going to say that they're going to get swept just like you. And for that Lakers-Rockets matchup, shockingly, I also agree with you on this matter. I think that the Rockets are going to lose in 6 games. I think that James Harden is going to have a good round. Russ is going to be pretty good. And, yeah, their problem is that they have a big man. And I think that Anthony Davis will go off, but I think that he won't have enough firepower to sweep them or win in 5 games. That's why I think that the Rockets can win 2 games. Also because they also won 6 games last year against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want that Lakers team to sweep the Rockets. But if we're going to be realistic here, just like you're being realistic with your Rockets beating the Lakers in 6, I mean, realistically, yeah, Lakers will probably win in 6. So as the Celtics are up 2-1 against the Raptors and the Heat are up 2-0 against the Bucks in the East, who do you have to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, Andrew?
Well, for a start, I think that the Celtics and the Bucks will be going in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that the Celtics are going to beat the Raptors in 6 games. I think that the Bucks are going to win in 7 games. I think that the Bucks are going to win Game 3. Game 4, I think it'll be 2-2, and they might even win in 6 games. But that's a little. It's hard to do because this Heat team is really all around. Before this podcast, me and Jacob were talking about who is the most all-around team, and we both said that the Heat were one of the best all-around teams. They've been playing great team basketball, and teams win championships, and the Heat are doing phenomenal. I still have the Bucks winning in 7, though. And for the Celtics-Raptors series, I can't see the Raptors winning because Pascal Siakam has not been good. He's been very inefficient. Lowry has been inconsistent. Van Vliet's been playing good, but he didn't have a great game. And obviously, they almost went down 3-0 if OG hadn't won that game winner. So, what are your thoughts on this, Jacob?
Well, with that Celtics and Raptors matchup, I definitely agree with you about the Celtics winning in 6. I mean, looking at how they're playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they won in 5 because one of the big things is Pascal Siakam. He's just not been playing well these playoffs, and he's supposed to be their best player. He's supposed to be their leading scorer, just their best all-around player, and he really just hasn't been that. First of all, he's not leading their team in scoring. Fred VanVleet is with 20 points. Pascal Siakam has 18. another thing is that he has been terrible on efficiency. I think he's 30% from the field and 25 from the three. That's terrible. That's terrible. And I really just don't think as a team, the Raptors are really doing as much. Even before these playoffs, before the second round, I really thought that the Raptors are going to win this. I really think that as an all around team, they have a great bench. Their starters are solid. I really thought that they had a chance to beat these Celtics. And another thing is the Celtics don't have a good big man, which I think will hurt them in the long run and which I thought would hurt them against the Raptors. But as we've seen, it really hasn't. As we've seen Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum show up when they needed them most. But for the Heat and the Bucks, this matchup, I've been watching the games, and I think it's the toughest matchup that I can decide who I think will win it. Because on the one hand, you have the Bucks, who Giannis Antetokounmpo, who will most likely win the MVP. Obviously, I want LeBron to win it, but I think
But he's not gonna win it because Giannis is gonna win it.
Okay, yeah. Realistically, looking at it again, Giannis will probably win it. Their team they do have a great defense and offense, but that was mostly in regular season. In the playoffs so far, we haven't seen that team. We haven't seen that championship contender team like we saw in the regular season. And the Heat, on the other hand, like you said before, them being a great all-around team. They are. They have great defenders, scorers, and shooters, which is what you need in a team. So my pick is I'm really don't know at this point because I think this series could go to game 7, but if someone said I got the Bucks going to game 7 and another person said I got the Heat going to game 7, I can't disagree with both of them because I think that both of them would make a good argument as to why they could go. But if I had to choose one team, I can't give up on Giannis. So yeah, I got to go with the Bucks.
Well, good choice. I think that's a safe choice, but it can also be unsafe. It can really go either way.
Yeah, I mean it really can. I mean looking at their team, I mean Giannis the first game he didn't play that well. He had 18 points, which again for being their best player, he could have done a lot better. But like you said, being the safer choice, I got to go with the MVP. Can't rule him out ever. So yeah, almost all of the NBA awards have been given except for the MVP award, but for those of you who don't know who won the awards, I'm just going to say for you guys, Giannis Antetokounmpo won Defensive Player of the Year. Montrezl Harrell won Sixth Man of the Year. Nick Nurse won Coach of the Year. Brandon Ingram won Most Improved Player. And Ja Morant won Rookie of the Year. So, Andrew, what has been your reactions to the awards that have been given so far?
Well, my picks originally, out of these 5 that were given, I've had 4 out of 5 right so far. I think it is absolute bogus that Brandon Ingram won Most Improved Player. I get it that he improved by points, but Bam Adebayo has the most improved season statistical-wise. He's improved in almost everything. He went from almost a bad starter or a role player to an all-star in a season, whereas Brandon Ingram went from a good starter to a great starter and an all-star. I think that Bam Adebayo is a better player. I think that Bam Adebayo should have won it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, a lot of the awards that I thought would win didn't win, but I mean, here's the thing. Most of the awards that I thought weren't going to win it, like Giannis winning Defensive Player of the Year, Montrezl Harrell winning Sixth Man of the Year, I didn't think those guys are going to win it, but I could see why why Andrew even beforehand thought that they should win it. But the 2 things that I had a problem with, which I think were complete crazy, is 1, Brandon Ingram winning Most Improved Player, like you said, and the other is someone picking Zion to win Rookie of the Year and not giving Ja Morant that unanimous Rookie of the Year. I mean, come on. Ja Morant deserved it. He led that Grizzlies team to almost the playoffs, and it was a complete improvement with his addition to the team. I mean, their coaching was also a lot better, and their team overall got a lot better, but he was definitely the leading factor as to why they did better. But with the Brandon Ingram winning Most Improved Player, I mean, yeah, like you said, Bam Adebayo just had a better season. I think he's a better player, like you said. He's a great offensive and defensive player. I think Brandon Ingram is a great offensive player, but overall, I'd rather have Bam Adebayo on my team. I think he has a bigger impact. He's definitely helped the Heat to get to where they are right now and to be one of the best defensive teams in the league. And another thing is Bam Adebayo was up for Defensive Player of the Year. Was he going to win it? No. But did he have a chance? Sure. He's still one of the best defensive players in the league. And I think that's one of the factors that puts him apart from Brandon Ingram.
Basically, who was your pick for Sixth Man of the Year again? It was Dennis Schroeder, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that one was a little hard to disagree on, but I still picked Montrezl Harrell. And we both basically had Nick Nurse because you said that you had a really tough time picking Mike Bud.
Yeah,
over Nick Nurse.
Well, I did say that Mike Bud should win it, but I'm not surprised that Nick Nurse won it either. I mean, Mike Bud, yeah, they did have the best record in the league, but I'm not mad about that pick with Nick Nurse winning it. I mean, I think thinking back to it, the two coaches that I think deserve to win it the most are probably, Nick Nurse of the Raptors and Billy Donovan of the Thunder, because the Thunder also improved a lot without their leading guy, Russ, and the Raptors without their leading guy, Kawhi, when they both left their teams. So, yeah, I'm not mad that Nick Nurse won it.
Yeah, and for the last award, we got Giannis winning Defensive Player of the Year. I picked Giannis. You picked AD. You still think AD should have won it. I still think Giannis should have won it, which he did. Giannis was the right choice. Better defensive rating.
But AD had a lot more steals and blocks. I mean, I think just overall as a defender, AD has been better. I just think he's been better as steals, blocks, and I just don't really think that Giannis was I mean, don't get me wrong, he was amazing, but I really think that AD has been impacting the Lakers defense more than Giannis has been impacting the Bucks defense.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's the same argument we could make for Rudy Gobert being the Defensive Player of the Year. He was the other one. He had 2 blocks, and let's check his defensive rating. His defensive rating was 104. AD's was 103. They had almost the same, and that's kind of my counter argument to what you're saying. But yeah, AD definitely.
I get why you think that Giannis should win it, and I'm not mad that Giannis won it either. I still think that AD should have won it.
Yeah.
Along with Dennis Schroeder, I still think that Dennis Schroeder should have won Sixth Man of the Year, as he was still one of the leading factors as to why the Thunder were so great this year.
But also Montrezl Harrell was one of the reasons that the Clippers were so good this year.
Yes, but I think it wasn't really just him. I think it was more or less Kawhi, Paul George, their coaching, everything. I think, Montrezl Harrell was a factor, but I think Dennis Schroeder, obviously, I mean, we can't just say this with the whole impact thing, but I still think that Dennis Schroeder had a bigger impact on the Thunder than Montrezl.
Well, talking about impact.
Let's look at playoffs even right now. I know we can't put playoffs and how they do in the playoffs into who wins the awards, but if we look at this, Montrezl Harrell has not been good during the playoffs. He has not done very well for the Clippers.
Exactly.
Although Dennis Schroeder did not do well in that Game 7 against the Rockets, overall, he did great in that first round. So,
well, I mean, like you said, that you can't put playoffs. You can't put playoffs. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but this was based on the regular season. I think Montrezl Harrell had a better regular season. And going on the impact topic, Chris Paul had the most impact. He was the most impactful player in the NBA. Without Chris Paul, The
Yes.
Thunder would probably be one of the worst teams in the West. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, look at what they said at the beginning of the year. They said the Thunder,
1.4.
1.4% chance, and they almost went to the second round. I mean,
Almost, yeah.
that's great. I mean, I think that they can still be a playoff team even next year. I think the one thing that they need to do is for them to get a better consistent scorer, someone who can score for them every single night, every single game. And I think that means replacing Gallinari. So while I do think that Gallinari is a great player, I just think that he's not as consistent as you want him to be.
Yep.
So, but what has been your reactions to Ja Morant winning it and not being able to win a unanimous Rookie of the Year?
I think he should have been unanimous. I think that guy he's an idiot for picking Zion. Zion played 17 games, I think, or 20 games. I think that the NBA should make a rule change. I think that you should have to play at least half of the season to be eligible for awards.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be a great rule, and Ja Morant definitely deserved it. Is he going to be the best rookie of this class? I don't think so.
Well, yeah,
But
that's what I was
was he
going to
the-
ask you. Who do you think is going to have a better career, Zion or Ja Morant?
Well, it's tough to say because Zion is injury prone. I think that Zion's going to have a better NBA career. When he's on the floor, he's going to have bigger impact. I think that Ja is going to be an all-star, though, one day.
Yeah, I think Ja will be an all-star. I think they'll both have amazing careers, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see them as they progress through their careers. But, I mean, me personally, I really don't get the hype with Zion. I think he's a great player, but I think he's very overhyped as a player. I mean, people put him as being an elite player in the league right now. Like, no, he's not a top 20 player. He's not a top 30 player. Top 40, maybe you could push it, but I don't really think so. So, I mean, I don't know. I just really don't understand the hype. And another thing is, after his first year in the league, he's on the cover of 2K. Well, one of the covers of 2K. Like, come on.
Yes, he is overhyped, but I will say I think he's still going to have the best career.
I still think he'll have a great career. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Feel free to comment down below which teams you think will get past the second round and your thoughts on the NBA awards.
See you guys next time.